Hey, what is up, guys? It is Hassan. I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be counting down the top 5 editing softwares for iOS in the App Store that are free. This is my preference, totally opinionated. So, guys, without further ado, I guess we can jump right into the top 5. Alright, guys, so for the first app, I'm going to be using Filmore Go. This is a great editor to start off with. It is free in the App Store, so let's jump right into it. Alright, so now that we're into it, we're going to press Create New Video. And once we're here, we're going to select our file type. I'm pressing Camera Roll all the way over to the right. Now that we're here, we're going to select files or videos to put into our movie. So I'm going to use R&R warfare footage just because that's most relevant to right now. Now we're going to the bottom right corner to press Add. This is going to add it to our timeline, and then at the top right corner, press Next. Now that we're here, it's going to import, and then now that we're here, we can edit. So we can go to Edit Tools, and then at the bottom, we can see filters and overlays and elements and speed and all those other things. Now that we're in filters, you can use all these types of filters for your video. Obviously, I don't want to use any of them because they don't really apply to what I'm doing. So I'm just going to select none. And now that we're here, we can go check out some other options. There are also effects, like these effects. These don't apply to my movie, so I'm just going to select none, but you can check those out by yourself. There's also titles and subtitles. This is highly important for if you want to do like a title screen or something like that. I use this in Prop Hunt, the glitch one over to the left. This is actually kind of cool. They don't have many fonts to choose from, so now that we're done with this, we can go up to the top right corner and press Save. It's going to export our movie for us. It doesn't usually take that long unless your movie's super long, then it'll take a while. And now that it's done exporting, we can actually save it to our camera roll or upload it to YouTube directly from here. Usually I just save it to my camera roll. The next free app we are going to be using is Gun Movie Effects. This is great for applying realistic gunshots to your movie. There's also other apps to do this, but I'm choosing this one because it's my favorite. Now that we're here, we're going to press New Project. Once we press this, we are going to title our project. I'm just going to title it YouTube. It's simple enough, so yep. Now we can import footage, or we can also directly record footage from here and then add the effect from there. Now I don't want to do this, so I'm just going to say don't allow, and I'm going to leave this and import footage. I'm importing R&R warfare footage just because it's applying to my movie, but this footage that I'm going to be editing is not actually in the final movie, just because I didn't want it to be, so I decided to use it for my demonstration here. So now that we're here, I turned on my ringer because I couldn't actually hear the effect. So if you want to add the effect, go all the way to the right side of the screen, press the little plus sign. Now I accidentally added that effect. You can delete it, but for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to leave it there. Now these are all the free muzzle flashes you can use. I'm just going to select a few, and then once we select those, I will apply them to my gun. Now that I've applied them, at the top you can see all the different muzzle flashes I have. I'm just going to pick this one, and now I'm going to go all the way down to the right corner, and I'm going to frame by frame move until I see that the barrel is in frame. Now that I'm here, I'm going to scale up the muzzle flash and add it so it's realistic, and I'm going to frame by frame again, and I'm going to keep adding them. Now of course a gun won't shoot this fast, so you're going to have to slow down and make it more realistic. Now you can also tilt and move around the muzzle flash just to make it more realistic, and it's level with the gun. Now what I like about this is it actually applies smoke and its own sound effect, so you don't have to worry about that in post. Now that we're done with this, we're just going to keep applying this until I feel like I'm satisfied with the amount of muzzle flashes. Now we go to the right top corner, build our movie. Now it's building our movie for us, so we just wait. If you have a lot of effects, it will take a little longer than it would if you have a little less effects. Now that we're done with this, we can actually save this, or we can listen to it. So I'm going to stop talking and let you guys listen to what the final product would have sounded like. Now, if you don't like that, you can always go in and post, and you can add your own sound effect. So here we go. Sadly, I forgot to actually turn up the volume when I was making it, so sorry about that, guys. So let's move on to the next editing software. Alright guys, so for the next editing software, we're going to be using VideoRama. This is also free, and it's good for adding like special effects. So, okay, now that we're into it, we're going to go to the bottom left corner and press landscape. Now that we're here, we are going to use R&R warfare footage once again, and we are going to add some effects. But I will warn you that this by itself for free doesn't allow much effects, and also only allows one project to be done at one time. So I would actually suggest in-app purchases. It actually is really worth it. The effects I'm going to be showing you are actually free and paid for. So these starter ones are all free. You can all download these. You just press it, downloads automatically, and it would show you what the rain would look like. And here's confetti rain. And it would just show up in your final thing. Now I like the snow one. I'm actually going to be using the snow one. Now explosions and magic spells are actually, you have to buy them. I think it's like $3, maybe $2, something like that. But the explosions are really cool if you're filming like a war scene or a battle scene. I highly recommend that if you're that kind of person for filmmaking. But if not, then just stick to the starter stuff. They actually do allow some cool effects. Also, they allow sound effects. These sound effects are going to be shown later on. They're cool starter sound effects. These magic spells are actually cool. This one I could use for a flamethrower if I wanted to. I don't really do magic. I watch the Harry Potter series, but okay, so now we're going to add a snow sound effect. Not sound effect, visual effect. Now that we can turn up the exposure and down it just to like make the snow more seeable or less seeable. You can also add sound, but since snow doesn't really have sound, we are just going to do this. Now this scene was actually in the trailer, and is also in the movie. I don't have snow in it in the final film, sadly. Now right here, I get shot. Now there's no effect for me being shot, so I actually should add an effect for me getting shot. So we can frame by frame where I get shot right here. So we want to add a visual effect and a sound effect. So the sound effect would be a gunshot, and the video effect would be blood splatter. This was a starter, and this is actually pretty cool. So now that we're here, we can drag it around and see where it fits best, scale it up, and then later on add exposure, higher or lower to match where it gets shot. So you can actually keyframe this. So if he like jumps through the air while he's getting shot, you can actually like track the motion with him. So I didn't actually do that. I just kept it right where he was going to be shot, because I actually got shot and I just fell. So it actually knows when it's only like a second long, so it was just a coincidence that it happened to be timed up at the same time. So now this would be the final. So that actually looks pretty cool. If I wanted to add a sound effect, I would go add a sound effect, probably a bullet shot. There are a lot of cool sound effects for free. If you don't have if you have another editing software but it doesn't allow many sound effects, I guess you could download this for free and then also get some more sound effects. But it's not really worth it, just because when you export it, you are going to actually get a lower resolution if you shoot in 4K, because you can only import or export 1080. You can only import 4K, but it'll go out 1080. So find a bullet impact, and now we're going to be using that and apply it right there, right after the visual effect, and it sounds pretty good. Now you guys can't actually hear that because I muted it, but it would sound like a blood splatter would. Okay, moving on to the next editing software. Alright guys, for this editing software I'm going to be using FoamToe. This is more of a picture editing software. then a video editing software. I use this for all my thumbnails and pictures if I want to. So once we're in, we're going to press the little camera at the bottom, and we're going to select plain image. You can also select your own photos. Now they have a whole bunch of templates already picked out for you. You actually have to buy some of them, but there are some cool free ones that are available. I'm just going to use a standard white one. Once I pick this, I go to the top and I look at the image size. Now you can make your own custom. Just to apply to YouTube, it's 1920 by 1080. This is the YouTube thumbnail size and also screen size, so that fits there. Now I can go to color and I can add some color. Now you can actually mix multiple colors and it'll give you like a fade effect. I'm just kind of messing around, and you can also arrange the colors in however you want. And once you arrange them, you can make cool patterns. And at the top, you will see vertical. You can actually change it to horizontal, and it would just change like the way that the colors are arranged. So I actually make this color change. At the bottom, you see the scroll thing. You can mess around with those, or you can actually change the color entirely, and you can pick a different color if that doesn't satisfy you. So now that we're done with this, we're going to go to the top right corner. We're going to press that, and then once it'll give you a drop-down menu, and that will say use, and we're going to select use and save. Now it'll pop up back to where we started, and we're going to go to the bottom right, bottom left, and then you're going to press add image or add item. I'm going to press add item. I'm probably going to use this as a thumbnail. Probably not. Now that I added an item, we can pick an item that we can add, I guess. So we can add at the bottom. You can change categories. All the way to the left, you will see like thumbs up, and I press shout out. You can also change it to YouTube specific. They have a specific sticker for that. That's kind of cool. Then you press done. You can also change the text and the color of the little ribbon thing. So now we can size it up to the size we want it and tilt it to make it look cool. And we're going to place it in the bottom right corner. Now we can add some text, and we could put Tossing Tomahawk or YouTube, and done. You can also change the font. They have like hundreds of fonts, which are actually kind of cool. I'm just kind of playing around with different fonts. I've had this app for such a long time now, like a year, and I don't even know what all the fonts are. So it's cool. You can play around with it. I actually decided that this next font, not this one, this next font is going to be the one that I'm going to use. Now you can size it up, and you can also change the color of it. If you go to style, you can there's a bottom part called alpha. You can put that all the way to 100, and it makes kind of like a black outline. You can also add it like underline or a background. You can also add a shadow behind it, which is actually kind of cool. There's a background. If you go to style, it took me a while to find it. If you go to style and you go to shadow, you can add a shadow. And then you can, if you go to X and Y, you can actually change where that shadow is going to be. I always go to the right, and I added it there. I'm going to say Tossing Tomahawk, probably switch up the font a little bit just so it's not the same font, so it has like a different look. Now that I changed it, I'm going to size it down so it fits on the screen. And once I size it down to about there, I'll find a spot to put it. And it's mainly just about finding out what you want, really. There's no like preference that I have for you. You're just going to have to mess around with it yourself. This is actually the app that I make all my thumbnails on. Like I said before, it's all right. Of course, I don't have a computer to use Photoshop yet. I probably will get one for Christmas, maybe. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can maybe add another item, possibly an arrow. So add an arrow pointing up to the Tossing Tomahawk, size it down, and then tilt it so it's pointing at Tossing Tomahawk. And then we can actually add some color to it so it's not just plain, and add some red. And there you have it, guys. That is how to make a thumbnail with editing software. Moving on to the next editing software. Alright guys, so for the last editing software we're going to be using iMovie, so let's jump right into it. Now that once we're into it, we're going to press the big plus sign and it's going to ask us to make a movie or a trailer. I'm going to select movie because we're making a movie instead of a trailer. So now that we're at movie, we select the footage that we want. I'm going to use R&R Warfare stuff again. Now guys, this is my main editing software. I use this for all my videos as of right now, and now that we have all of our videos in the timeline that we want, we can actually do a lot of stuff, but we are also very limited. Now, in order to do anything and to get this app, it's actually free if you have an iPhone. You can also get it on an iPad, but you have to have like the latest iOS 11, and then it just comes with the phone. You'll actually have to go into the App Store and look it up, and it'll be free. So now you can actually trim the videos to how you want it. So let's say you have a video that's too long and it accidentally sees something it's not supposed to, so then you can trim it so it's out. You can trim the footage so it ends the footage faster, I guess. You can also speed up and slow down your footage, and you can also split the footage in case you don't want something to be there. So right here I split it, and you can have like a little clip that you don't want, so if you do something bad you can cut it out, but it will change like the camera. Like right there you can see that it cut forward a little bit because I cut a whole segment out of it. So you can also speed up and slow down. Like I said, speeding up will make it look faster, slowing down will obviously make it look slower. You can also add music, you can add other videos, you can add pictures. Unfortunately you can't do green screen on this. You can do it on like the Mac, but I guess you can't do it on an iOS device. That's sad. I wish they had that feature, but they don't. So now you don't want it that slow, so we're actually going to speed it up a little bit. You don't want it too fast either unless you're doing a time lapse, but your phone should be able to time lapse itself. So now that we're here, we can add other pictures or videos or songs or voiceover. I'm doing a voiceover right now just because I want to. So I hope you guys liked my editing softwares. Please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.